Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Who's on it?
I don't know. Trying to see,
To the gallery view.
I'm looking for it.
Okay. Okay.
It's exit.
No, I'm going to show you. Yeah, exit full screen.
Okay.
Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Tommy.
Hi, I can't see anybody yet. I'm like, Tommy won't let me right there before.
Hey, Tommy. Hi, Cheryl.
That's the full
Hi.
screen.
Yeah. Here, put this over there. Gonna bring it over?
What happened?
We all set to go, buddy.
Oh, there we go. There we are. Wait, no, but it's just me now.
Hey, Tommy, you hear me?
Yes? Yes, can you hear me?
Sure, loud and clear.
Great.
I can't do this.
I know.
Picture. We have our name.
What does that see? See all photos?
I don't know.
Charles.
Can I turn on Wheel of Fortune? I can, but I was on the phone here.
What does that have to do with it?
Oh, it doesn't bother you?
Stupid.
Yeah.
Happy BaOmer, everyone. Thank you, Deanie. You too.
Thank you, Dini. You too.
So good to see you.
Happy BaOmer.
Happy BaOmer to you.
Happy BaOmer from Israel.
Ah.
Yes.
You like BaOmer.
Happy BaOmer.
With no face.
Happy BaOmer.
Gloria. Hi, John Heller. No way.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. How are you?
So good to see you.
So good to see you. Yes, excellent.
I don't know what to do more.
Okay. Everyone got their barbecue set up?
No.
Not allowed where
Wish I had a barbecue.
You're lucky you can cook outside. All these condo people can't do that.
Exactly. Unless we'll lose our condo.
Yeah.
Not in these days. You need a home now.
Right. Nobody's moving fast. It's so
Starting
true.
their barbecues.
Rabbi Scheiner, are we starting? Oh, it looks like the fire pit is going. I think he's still on mute. Oh, Aharon.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Can everyone hear us?
Yep.
You can talk and
I can hear.
We can hear you, Rabbi.
Okay, there we go. There's Rabbi and Rabbi.
Okay, happy BaOmer. I just want to say hello to everyone.
There
I'm
it
Rabbi
goes.
Yosef Rice, and I want to welcome our wonderful choir conductor, Dudi Liebovitch, and Aharon Deutch, all the way from Israel. Say hello to them. In Eretz Israel, connecting with us.
Hello. Good to see you.
7 hours ahead, so do the math. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, but they love us so much that they agreed to be with us today in honor of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the holy holy rabbi, the Tana Eloki, the godly saint and rabbi who revealed the secrets of Jewish mysticism of Kabbalah. And someone asked me at the end of the class today, and I said, we'll answer it right now. Why is it that we light bonfires? I hope everyone has their grills on and making a nice barbecue and celebrating in honor of Lag BaOmer. And why do we have flames, torches, bonfires celebrating this day of Lag BaOmer? That's one of the main customs of the day, to light bonfires. And there are many reasons given. One of them is that he wrote the Zohar. Zohar is light.
We just lost Rabbi's audio, I think.
Someone muted the rabbi.
Back a minute. Someone muted him.
You said the Zohar is light. That's
The
what we
word
lost.
Zohar means light, and Zohar focuses on the inner light of the human being, the Ner Hashem Nishmat Adam, the candle of God, which is the soul of man, which is the candle of God. And therefore, today is all about taking the candle of God that we have within ourselves and turning it into a blazing flame to shine and radiate forth our inner light, our godly dimension, through the light of the Zohar. The light, the word Zohar means light. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai revealed great light into the world, and especially on the day of his passing, he was given permission from heaven to reveal the deepest, holiest secrets of the Torah that he wasn't able to reveal till the day of his passing. And that's one of the reasons why the day of his passing is a day of rejoicing, because he brought so much light into the world, so much so that it says that his death had to be postponed and the sun had to be held in the heavens to be able to set till he revealed all the light of the Torah, and then the sun was able to set on the day of his passing. So today is a day of light. Today is the day we find our inner light connected to the hidden dimensions of the Torah, which is Kabbalah and Zohar and Chassidut, through which we can shine forth our own inner light into the world and ignite the soul from within. Which reminds me of the story of Yehuda Avner, who wrote the book, The Prime Ministers. He once came to the Liebovitch Rebbe and he said, what's the role of a Rebbe? And the Liebovitch Rebbe said that every person has a soul. The soul is like a candle. The body is like the lump of wax, and the soul is like the thread that goes through the core of the wax. But the Rebbe said a candle is not a candle till you ignite it and it shines forth. And my job is to ignite the soul of the Jewish people by kindling the flame within every Jew, the Jewish neshama, the pintel yid. And Yehuda Avner said, when he left the meeting, Rebbe, did you light my soul? And the Rebbe said, no, but I gave you the match. The Zohar is the match that we could all use to ignite our souls. We're now going to turn to our dear choir master, Dudi Liebovitch and Aharon Deutch, to lead us in some joyous song in honor of Lag BaOmer.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. היי לה 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 שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. la 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 Hello from Israel, everybody. We are very exciting to see you, to
It's
meet
honor
you.
to be with you in the Zoom.
And we hope the sound is good. You heard us well.
Beautiful.
Thank you
Excellent.
very much.
Thank you again, Dudi and Aharon. It's so good to see you. You know, the beautiful song they sang is Hine Matov Umanaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How beautiful and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell together. And here we see, even with the coronavirus, we're all together. We're all together virtually from Israel to Palm Beach and around the world. We're able to connect with one another. And King David says how good and how sweet it is. Why does he say how good and how sweet? Because some things in life are good, but they're not sweet. Other things are sweet, but they're not necessarily good for you. When something is good and sweet, then it's the best. And being together with our fellow Jews, especially on a day like Lag BaOmer, is matov umanaim. It's good, and it's also pleasant and sweet. You know, we mentioned that one of the customs of Lag BaOmer is to light a bonfire. But there's another very famous custom of Lag BaOmer, and that is that children play with bows and arrows. And the question is, why do we play with bows and arrows on Lag BaOmer? So I'm going to tell you two reasons. One is a basic reason, and one is a deeper reason. The basic reason is that the Talmud says that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was such a holy, saintly rabbi that he said that I could exempt the whole world from judgment. Meaning I could see the good in every person to the extent that Yacholi lifter kala olam kulam min adin. I could judge everyone favorably. Meaning if you needed a defense attorney, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai would be your best defense attorney. You could only see the good in people. And therefore it says that when God made the flood, he promised Noah he would never bring a flood again on mankind. He would never destroy mankind. But God said, I'll give you a sign. What is the sign? A keshet, the rainbow. The rainbow is the sign that God will never destroy the world again. That was God's promise, his covenant with Noah. And therefore, whenever we see a rainbow, it means that the world maybe was deserving of punishment. But because of the covenant with Noah, God didn't destroy the world. However, it says in the life of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, there never appeared a rainbow in the sky, because in his merit, he protected the whole world, that there was never a time of judgment that the world should be, God forbid, punished. And therefore, there was never a rainbow in his lifetime. In Hebrew, the word keshet is a rainbow, and the word keshot is also a bow and an arrow. A bow. And therefore, we play with a bow and arrow, representing the idea that in his lifetime, his merit, his righteousness was so great that it protected the whole world, that there was never a rainbow in the heavens. And on the day he died, for the first time, a rainbow appeared. That's the basic reason, based on what the Talmud says, that in his lifetime, there never was a rainbow. There's another deeper reason. I really want everyone to take this reason to heart and really hopefully inspire us that as a result of this gathering for Lag BaOmer, we should delve into some of the teachings of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Now, I know learning Zohar and learning Kabbalah is very difficult, but there is Chassidut, starting with the book of Tanya. Chassidut takes ideas of Kabbalah and elucidates it in a way that we could all relate to it and comprehend it. And we all need to infuse our lives with Chassidut and Kabbalistic teachings in order to ignite our inner soul, the inner light of the soul. And here's the answer why we play with bows and arrows, especially children, on the day of Lag BaOmer. You know, in the olden days when they went to war, they didn't have guns, of course, they didn't have tanks. What they had was swords and bows and arrows. What's the difference between a sword and a bow and arrow? A sword is something you use to fight with an enemy that's very close to you. But when you have an enemy that's far away, even sometimes so far away that you can't even see the enemy, you can't fight that enemy with a sword. What you need is a bow and arrow. And through the arrow, you could shoot it far away against your enemy. But here's the irony about a bow and arrow. The further you want to shoot the arrow, the closer you have to draw the bow into yourself. And the closer you draw it back towards yourself, the further it will shoot. And this is a metaphor in life, that sometimes to have long-range impact or to have more strength and potency, we have to go deeper and closer into ourselves. And so too, it's explained in Chassidut that there are two types of enemies in life. When we talk about enemies, we don't only talk about physical enemies. There are two types of spiritual enemies. There are enemies that we're aware of. We know what's good, what's bad, what's evil, what's good, righteousness, what is light, what is darkness. Don't steal, don't kill, don't do things that are forbidden. That's obvious, apparent. So, and therefore we have to fight them. And the method we do that with is the sword. But then there are deeper enemies. The enemies that we're not even conscious of. The enemies that are concealed within the human psyche, like lust and jealousy and ego and self-centeredness and pride and arrogance and all of the negative traits that we can't always readily identify or pinpoint and say, this is the enemy. We don't even know sometimes subconsciously what it is that is driving our negative behavior, let alone understand what it's all about. And therefore, for that enemy, the deeper enemy, the subconscious enemy from within, that is connected to our deeper, sometimes emotional wounds from childhood, whatever it may be, that is driving our behavior, we need to delve deeper into ourselves. Like that bow, we have to pull it closer into ourselves to be able to slay that enemy that sometimes is not even visible. You can't even see the enemy. It's an invisible enemy, but it lurks deep within ourselves. So when it comes to the revealed aspects of the Torah tells us how to behave, what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do, how to deal with the known enemies to man, which is the immoral, unethical, sinful behavior. When it comes to understanding our inner psyche, the deeper dimensions of our soul, what makes us tick on the inside, now we need the bow to draw it really deep within ourselves to be able to deal with those enemies that are concealed beneath the veneer of the human behavior. And sometimes what you think you're doing righteous could actually be coming from a negative place, from a place of bad intentions. And therefore you really need the inner light of Chassidut to dwell and delve deep within yourself to uncover what it really is all about in your character that needs rectification and refinement and correction. And that is the metaphor of the bow and arrow, that to slay and to get rid of the enemy that is even not consciously visible, we need to pull back and draw within ourselves. And once again, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai gave us the tools through the teachings of Kabbalah and the Zohar, as elucidated and elaborated upon in the teachings of Chassidut. And that's one of the reasons why it's customary for children, but you know, children's games are very deep, like dreidel. So too playing with a bow and arrow like BaOmer has very deep meaning and significance. Throw it back to our Cantor and the choir conductor Dudi Liebovitch and Aharon Deutch.
אוויר הרים צלול כיין וריח אורני נישא ברוח ארבעים עם כל פעמונים ותרדמתי לה בעבר חיה בחלומה העיר אשר בגד יושבת ובליבה ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך הניחי נור. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך הניחי. ואין פוקד את הר הבית בעיר העתיקה ובמראות אשר בסלע והלילות רוחות ואין יורד אל ים המלח בדרך יריחו. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך הניחי נור. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך הניחי נור. אך בבואי היום לשיר לך ולך לקטור כתרים, קטונתי מצעיר בנייך ומאחרון המשוררים. כשמך צורבת השפתיים, הנה שיקת צערה, וזרקת ירושלים אשר כולה זהב. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך הניחי נור. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך הניחי נור. שופר קורא בהר הבית בעיר העתיקה, ובמראות אשר בסלע אלפי שמשות זוכרות. נשוב נרד אל ים המלח בדרך יריחו. ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך הניחי נור.
Thank you. It's so beautiful. Such a wonderful, beautiful evening, united with everyone.
Hi.
And really the key is the fact that we are united. Lag BaOmer, in addition to the bonfires, the marshmallows, the barbecues, and the bow and arrow games, the theme of Lag BaOmer is all about Jewish unity. It's about Ahavat Yisrael. We know that today is also the day that we rejoice as Rabbi Akiva is one of the heroes of Lag BaOmer and his students. There was a great plague and 24,000 of Rabbi Akiva's students had passed away. And the reason was because they were not respectful of one another. And the message of Lag BaOmer is all about unity. I want to share a story that really impacted me. And I try to live up to it as much as I can. And it's all about Israel. And it's also connected to a great rabbi who has the same yahrzeit as Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who today is his yahrzeit, and his name is the Ramah. His name is Rabbi Moshe Isserlis. He lived about 500 years ago. And let me give you a little bit of a background. We know that we have the Torah of 613 commandments, but then there's the oral tradition that is told with the 10 commandments that we have. And we have the oral tradition, and eventually as the Jewish people were dispersed, they started to write down the Talmud, so we would remember all of the oral laws of the Torah. Then after the Talmud, a few rabbis got together, and they said, you know, in order to expect every single Jew to look into the Talmud, it would be very complex because the Talmud is very long. And they started to compose different books, like the Tosfos Harash was one of them, followed by the Torah, with all of the laws into a 4-volume set. Everyone would be able to go into this, open it up, and learn and know all the exact and direct answers. And the story goes that Rabbi Moshe Isserlis was sitting in Krakow, Poland, when he decided that the Torah, who was the last one to compile all the laws, he said it is a very complex book and we can't expect everyone to look into the book to understand.
Rabbi Yosef, I don't want to disturb you, but we're not hearing you clearly. There seems to be an echo, and we want to hear your story. I'm wondering if we should go to another song, and maybe we can you guys can reload so that we can hear you clearly.
Let's just how about now?
Much better. Bring your phone close to you.
Okay.
Yeah, much
Sarah,
better.
All right, thank you.
I think
I
Aaron.
saw some echoes over there. I saw some comments, so we can pull it a little closer. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we could all get it into the image, and you can type again. Now I can see it.
Rabbi Yossi, if you can tell due to that, it was hard to hear Aaron from his mic. He could sing louder because just for Aaron to sing up a little more from Aaron and Dudi. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you, Tali. We got it. Thank you.
The story continues, and I'll just give you a little bit of that. Rabbi Moshe Isserlis was in Krakow, Poland, where he wanted to write the Shulchan Aruch, and write down that anytime someone has a question, they could just come with their question to Rabbi, they open up the Shulchan Aruch. And he decided to rewrite the Shulchan Aruch that every Jew could follow. And by the way, today, when you have a question, you ask Rabbi, they open up the Shulchan Aruch. And he started on a 7-year journey. And Rabbi Moshe Isserlis started to write all the commentaries of the Ashkenazic law. And after 7 years of hard toil and hard work,
Breaking up again, Rabbi.
Not working. Unfortunately.
How about now? Are we back?
Yeah, just hold it to yourself while you share the story.
All right. Rabbi Moshe Isserlis, he went on 7 years and he wrote this Shulchan Aruch. At the end of 7 years, he finally completed the Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, and completed it. He was about to get it published. When all of a sudden he had a visitor at his door. And the visitor was none other than a man who was fundraising for the city of Tzfat. And he came from Tzfat, and he was a follower of Rabbi Yosef Cairo. And he comes to Rabbi Moshe Isserlis' house in Krakow, Poland, and he stays there. And he was there to fundraise money for the Jews of Israel and the Jews of Tzfat. And he said, "Thank you for having me. I brought you a gift from our rabbi in Tzfat, Israel." And he comes and he brings this gift, and he says, "What is the gift?" It was a book. And the book was a book written by Rabbi Yosef Cairo, and it was a Shulchan Aruch, the same exact thing. And he said, Rabbi Yosef Cairo, 7 years ago, wrote the same, started to go on a journey to write this book, and he started to write the Shulchan Aruch, to put all of his commentaries with the Sephardic interpretations to make a simplified code of Jewish law that everyone could listen. And he wrote this book, and he said, "Thank you for allowing me to stay at your house." He went along, and Rabbi Moshe Isserlis took this book, and he goes into his study. And now I ask you a question. If you were on a 7-year journey writing and authoring a book, and you see that someone was writing a very similar book, what would you do at this point? What would you do? Normally, we would come along and we would start, okay, let's get the PR team, let's do whatever we can to put it out there and try to make sure that our book becomes the famous one. But instead of that, he took the book of Rabbi Yosef Cairo and he put all of his little commentaries and notes where the Ashkenazic tradition differs. And he came along, and this is exactly what he did. And he went to the cemetery in Krakow and he buried his own work of 7 years. And that is where he buried his Shulchan Aruch. And he sent the book back to Rabbi Yosef Cairo. And this is the Shulchan Aruch. This is the code of Jewish law that every Jew has today. Today is the yard site of Rabbi Moshe Isserlis. And if you go to Krakow, he's buried right next to where he buried his book. And a great tree grew. There was a dead tree that grew right over his grave. And when the Nazis came to destroy the cemeteries, after killing many Jews of Krakow, they tried to destroy the whole cemetery, but there was a tree blocking the grave of Rabbi Moshe Isserlis, whose yard site is today. And I saw pictures of many Jews went to, not so many, but a small group of Jews went to visit the grave of Rabbi Moshe Isserlis, and they lit a bonfire there as well last night. and they celebrated his yortzeit of Lag BaOmer. And this is the story, and the lesson, of course, is that sometimes in life we feel, okay, we need to, get into competition. But his mindset was, no, there needs to be one code of Jewish life. It didn't matter that he put 7 years of work into something. His work would be there even if he didn't get the great honor. And this is one of the lessons of Lag BaOmer, to always be kind to one another, respectful to one another, and be humble. And with that, I'd like to turn to our Bat Kol choir, Rabbi Dudi Liebovitch and Aharon Deutch, for the next song.
Thank you. It's good to see you, Yosef.
Nice to see you too, and great to hear you.
בר יוחאי נמשך תעשיך, שמן ששון מחברך. בר יוחאי נמשך תעשיך, שמן ששון מחברך. בר יוחאי במשכן קודש, המשכת בליבת הקודש. נשאת ציץ נזר הקודש, חפושה על ראשך פרח. חי חי המשכת אשריך, שמן ששון מחברך. חי חי מושב טוב ישבת, יום נעשת יום אשר בראת. אין ירד שוב שעמדת, שם קנית עוד בבדמת. חי חי נמשכת אשריך, שמן ששון מחברך. בר יוחאי יוצאי שיטים עומדים, לימודי אדוני הם לומדים. אור מופלא, אורי קודם יוקדים, הלא המה ירוחם מורך. בר יוחאי נמשכת אשריך, שמן ששון מחברך. בר יוחאי בלתי תפוחים, היית ללקוט ומרקחים. תורה בפיך מזרחים, נעשה אדם נאמר בזכותך. בר יוחאי נמשכת אשריך, שמן ששון מחברך. בר יוחאי גלות חוכמה קדומה, השקפת לכבודו פנימה. לב נתיבות ראשית תרומה, עד קירוב נמשכתי בורך. בר יוחאי נמשכת אשריך, שמן ששון מחברך. בר יוחאי אור מופלא ממעלה, יראת מלאה בלתי רבלה. גלומה ואין קורא לה, גם תהילות תשורך. בר יוחאי נמשכת אשריך, שמן ששון מחברך. בר יוחאי אשרי יולדתך, אשרי ים אם לומדך, ואשרי העומדים על סודך. לבושי חושן תומך ואורך. בר יוחאי נמשכת אשריך, שמן ששון מחברך. בר יוחאי נמשכת אשריך, שמן ששון, שמן ששון מחברך. Okay, now I will tell you some short story from Reb Shlomo Karlibach. It's amazing. I didn't know, Yosef, what we're going to talk about, and you talk about Rema in Krakow. I have also a story from Krakow. Today, like BaOmer, it starts the wedding period, because 5 weeks we didn't make any wedding because of Sfirat HaOmer, and this evening Am Israel start again to get married. And this is a story of the grandfather of Rabbi Shlomo, Rabbi Yoel Sirki Sabach, that he's also lived in Krakow and also burned in Krakow. And he once wanted to know who is going to be his neighbor in the heaven, in Olam Haba. And he made a dream question, and he received an answer that your neighbor is a simple Jew named Moshe, merchant from Lemberg. So he was very disappointed. Me, Yoel, that I give all my days and nights for Am Yisrael to teach Torah, why I don't have a rabbi near me, a tzaddik? Why I have a simple Jew? So he decided to go to Lemberg to maybe he will see something special about this Jew, his neighbor to heaven. He's coming, he get into the shul in Lemberg, and he asked people, do you know Moshe, the merchant? And they say, yes, no, it's not something, nothing special, he's a simple Jew. We don't know something about him. So again, he was very more disappointed. But they told him, you know, tomorrow evening, this Moshe is making a wedding for the marriage of his son. So you can go to the wedding and to see who is his family, his friends. Maybe you'll know him better. So Rabbi Yoel Sirkis, the Bach Beit Chadash, he goes to the wedding. And the orchestra begins to play, you know, the wedding song. And suddenly, everybody hears somebody crying, a deep crying. So Moshe said, who is crying here? What's going on? What happened? And he told the orchestra, stop play. We have to find who is crying here. What happened? And they find a nice fellow in the same age of the groom, sitting on the floor, wipe his tears and crying. So Moshe asked him, my son, why do you cry? You are not happy with my son's wedding? And he answered him, you know, your bride, your son's bride, she was my bride. We were in an engagement. We were engaged, and my father lost all his money, so her family canceled the engagement. So now I see my bride going to marry your son. How can I not cry? Moshe called the bride and asked her, my daughter, tell me please, is it true? Is it true what this fellow tells us? Is it right that you were his bride and your family canceled it? And she said, yes, it's true, truly. And now he asks her a very, very difficult question. Tell me honestly, if we were asked only you, not your family, would you also cancel the engagement because of the money problems? And she shakes his head and says, no, not at all. I don't care about money. If he has to be my husband, I will marry him, poor or rich. It doesn't matter. So Moshe called the Brun, his son, and tells him, go home please, take out the wedding suit and bring it here, and you will wear the Shabbat clothes, the regular Shabbat clothes, and come back with the wedding suit in your hand. His son, the groom, understands what's going to happen, and he makes what the wish of his father. He ran home, take off the wedding suit, and bring it back. Moshe gave the suit to the fellow that cried before. No, you have to marry this wonderful girl for your wife. Not my son. my son will find his wife in some other place. And Moshe tell the orchestra, please start again. The orchestra start again, but now with the new drum. And the story ends that Rabbi Yoel, the grandfather of Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, say, you know, when I went from Krakow to Lemberg, I didn't understand why this Moshe, simple Jew, why he is my neighbor. But now I don't understand what zchut I have that he is such a special man, a tzaddik. What zchut I have to have this Moshe as my neighbor for heaven. Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Join us everybody. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael. Everybody together. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu Chai.
Beautiful, Rabbi Liebovitch.
Thank you very much.
That was magnificent. Beautiful story and beautiful song. Does everyone hear me?
We hear in Israel. We hear you.
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay, so I'm also unmuted on my phone, so just in case. So another aspect of Lag BaOmer that we really have to think about and take to heart, in addition to everything we spoke of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, revealing the soul of the Torah, the inner dimension, is another aspect of Lag BaOmer that's connected to everything we discussed before. And that is the story of the Rabbi Rice mentioned of the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva who died. And that's why these days, up until Lag BaOmer, were very sad days. We're not allowed to have weddings or music or celebrations, not even allowed to take a haircut, because we're mourning the passing of the students, the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva. And today is the day that the plague, the pandemic, believe it or not, ceased, and they stopped dying. And that's why it became a day of celebration. But what's most important is what the Talmud teaches us. What did we learn from this? The Talmud says the reason the students of Rabbi Akiva died was mipnei shelo nagu kavod ze lezeh. They didn't show the proper respect and love for one another. And therefore, one of the main messages of Lag BaOmer is to learn from the story of the students of Rabbi Akiva that we have to fulfill the mitzvah of loving and respecting our fellow man. As Rabbi Akiva himself taught, that to love your neighbor as yourself, this is the most important principle of the Torah. So today is also the day of loving our fellow man. to learn how to properly love one another. And if you look in the book of Tanya, which is one of the books of Chassidut that explains the Zohar, he has the chapter Lamed Bet, which is Lev, the heart of Tanya. And he explains, how could you properly love another Jew if they're different than you, if you don't share the same, body, and you don't share the same physical conditions, or you don't have the same levels or understandings or outlooks or perspectives. How are you supposed to love every person? Physically, it's impossible because people are so different than one another. How can I have love and affection for every single person? And the Alter Rebbe explains the only way to do that is when you go beyond the physical, when you look to the soul, because our souls are all one, they're all connected. Whatever differences we may have, that's only the externalities. Internally, our soul is all connected to each other and to God, because all of our souls come from the same place. And therefore, we have to love every single person, every single Jew unconditionally, because they're a part of us. Like the famous story of the Chassid who came to his Rebbe. And he was talking to the Rebbe, and he made a derogatory, disparaging mark about another Jew. And the Rebbe was very perturbed by what he said. So the Rebbe said to him, I know you sell diamonds. It was a diamond deal. He said, do you have any diamonds you can show me? And Chassid said, yeah. He took out from his briefcase pouch, and he put down on the table many different diamonds. And the Rebbe picked up a very small diamond and said, maybe this is a very small diamond. It's maybe affordable. Maybe it's inexpensive. I could purchase this diamond. And the Chassid said to the Rebbe, with all due respect, you obviously don't understand about diamonds, but this diamond may be small in your eyes, but actually has the best cut and clarity, and it's the most precious diamond on the table. And the Rebbe looked at him and said, if I'm no expert in diamonds, when did you become an expert in Jewish souls? We never know the level of another Jew's soul. And therefore, we can never judge another person. But not only can we judge another person, we never know that person could have a very lofty soul, because we're not experts in souls. So we may judge someone on their outside, external appearance. We may judge them by the way they dress or the way they act even. But what's inside is their neshama. And only when you tap into and connect to the soul of your fellow Jew can you truly appreciate who they are and love them with unconditional love. So therefore, today is the day of revelation of Zohar, which talks about the soul of man, the inner dimension of the being, the subconscious level beneath the surface that we all have within ourselves. But it's also the day of learning how to love one another. And the only way to truly love a person is to see beyond the facade, beyond the external, and see to their essence. Now, if you look in the Torah, it says the first thing that God created was light. And when God saw the light, God saw ki tov, that it is good. The word tov is spelled with 3 letters, tet, vav, vet, which the numerical value is 17. And today, like BaOmer, is 17 days before Shavuos, 33 days from Pesach, and 17 days left to Shavuos. The 17 days is the numerical value of the word tov, good. Up until today, we had the first 32 days of the Omer, which 32 is the numerical value of the word leiv, heart. And therefore, if you take the 32 letters, the 32 days before Lag BaOmer, you have the numerical value of the word leiv, heart. Take the 17 remaining days after Lag BaOmer till Shavuos, you have the word tov, which is 17, 32 and 17. And right in the middle is Lag BaOmer. And the message is Lag BaOmer is all about developing the Leiv Tov. As we all know, in Pirkei Avot, there's a famous Mishnah, the Rab Shimon Bar Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 students. He told them, go out and see what's the best quality a person could acquire. And each student came back with a different answer. And one of his students, Rabbi Lazar, said, a Leiv Tov, a good heart, is the best quality to possess in this world. And he said, the teacher, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said, I would choose from all the 5 students, I would agree with Rabbi Lazar. Because if you have a good heart, you have everything, he said. Everything in life is included in a good heart. And therefore, the most important quality is a Leiv Tov. And so Rabbi Akiva teaches us that that's the most important principle in Judaism, to love your neighbor as yourself. And that's the whole message of Chassidut and Kabbalah, to reveal the inner dimension of a person, not to see them for their external appearance, but to see them for their soul level connection. And to develop that love and that Leiv Tov for every single person, for every single Jew. And that's the way we prepare for getting the Torah on Shavuot, because it says when we got to Mount Sinai, we were ki'ish achad be'lev achad. We were like one person with one heart, and it was in the merit of that unity that we displayed that God granted us the Torah. And so a prerequisite for receiving the Torah is to love a fellow Jew unconditionally and to have a leiv tov. And in the merit of that, we receive the Torah every year anew on the holiday of Shavuot. But here's another secret. In order to love your fellow man, Torah says love your neighbor as yourself, which means to say first you have to learn to love yourself. And that's what Chassidut says. Chassidut gives you, Kabbalah gives you a deeper appreciation for who you are, for your soul, for your depth, that you're a part of God. You have infinity within yourself, a part of Hashem. You learn to love yourself because you know that your true self is your godly soul. When you learn to love yourself with the same way, you learn to love your fellow Jew because you realize that every Jew has that godly soul within them. And these are the beautiful gifts that Rav Shimon Bar Yochai and Rabbi Akiva bequeathed to us on this holiday of Lag BaOmer, the most important prize, jewels, possessions of Judaism, which is discovering our neshama, our godly soul, and discovering our connection to Hashem, and at the same time, our connection to every other Jew, to our fellow Jews. And if we can do that properly, we'll merit to receive the Torah on Shavuot, as the Jews did for the first time 3,332 years ago, ki'ish achad, like one person, belev achad, with one heart. And I'll just tell you that the Liebovitch Rebbe used to stand every Sunday for 6, 7, 8 hours giving dollars to every single person who came for a blessing. And someone once asked the Rebbe, don't you get tired standing for so many hours giving out dollars and blessings to thousands of Jews? And the Rebbe said to this person who asked him the question, he says, when you count diamonds, you never get tired. Every Jew is a diamond. If you could see the soul of a Jew, yeah, sometimes a diamond is in the earth and it has to be taken out, and it has to be polished, and it has to be shaped and cut. Sometimes we all have to work on ourselves to refine and to beautify our diamond, but we all have a diamond within us. If you could see the diamond in every person, starting with your very self, then you never tire in your love and your devotion to every single Jew. I'd like to throw it back to Rabbi Dudi Liebovitch and Aharon Deutch, and again, thank them for joining us from Eretz Yisrael, from the Holy Land, the place where Rav Shimon Bar Yochai is resting in the city of Meron in Eretz Yisrael. Dudi Liebovitch, bevakasha.
אבינו מלכנו, שמע קולנו. אבינו מלכנו, חטאנו לפניך. אבינו מלכנו, חמול עלינו, ויעלול עלינו, ותרפאנו. אבינו מלכנו, קל דבר, וחרב ורע יעלנו. אבינו מלכנו, קל לכל צער ומסתיר יעלנו. אבינו מלכנו, אבינו מלכנו, כותבנו בספר חיים טובים. אבינו מלכנו, חדש עלינו, חדש עלינו, שנה טובה. אבינו מלכנו, שמע קולנו, שמע קולנו. אני מאמין, אני מאמין, אני מאמין באמונה שלמה. אתה משיח אני מאמין, ואף על פי שיתממע עם כל זה אני מאמין, אני מאמין, אני מאמין, אני מאמין, אוי במויאת המשיח, מביאת המשיח אני מאמין, ואף על פי שיתממע עם כל זה אני מאמין, ואף על פי שיתממע עם כל זה אני מאמין. תודה רבה.
Thank you again. That was beautiful. I just want to say that, you know, the greatest and the largest gathering of Jews anywhere in the world throughout the entire year takes place on Lag BaOmer at the grave of Rab Shimon bar Yochai in Meron. When he died, he said that his anniversary of his passing, his yahrzeit, should be hilula. It should be like a wedding. And approximately 500,000 Jews, mostly from Israel, but from all around the world, traveled to Meron. I'm sure Cantor, Liebovitch, and Aharon Deutch have been there as well on Lag BaOmer. And I actually had the privilege of experiencing it once. Our daughters, Himni and Malka, experienced it when they were learning in Tzvat in seminary. They went, of course, to Meron. But I also experienced it because, first of all, we were there this summer. We were there for the upsharnish of our nephew, Chazanov. So he did the hair cutting, as is customary to do hair cuttings on Lag BaOmer. But Moshe had his upshar family was just at his grave, which is a synagogue and a study hall year-round. We were just there this summer. But when I was 16, I went to learn in Israel for one long summer. I went for like 5 months. And I was there on Lag BaOmer. And our yeshiva took us from Yerushalayim. We drove 4 hours to Meron. And we spent the entire night. And if I could describe to you what goes on there, literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Jews. And dancing throughout the night. Music, concerts, singing, dancing, and bonfires. And you wait online for hours and hours to get into the tomb of Rab Shimon bar Yochai to say a prayer. Because his day of passing, he said, will be a day of miracles. And a lot of people come for blessings there. A lot of people bring their 3-year-old sons for their first haircut there. It's an amazing experience. But I just want to say to everyone watching this, that Rab Shimon bar Yochai's special divine powers and protection and blessings radiate and pulsate on this day. And he said, whoever celebrates my day of passing as a Yom Hilula, as a day of rejoicing, he will shower him with his blessings, and from Hashem, of course, and the merit of Rab Shimon bar Yochai will be granted to this person for anything that they need and anything that they desire. And so everyone on the Zoom honored the great Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai by participating in his day of passing as a day of a wedding, of a celebration, and fulfilled his request to celebrate the day of his passing and to learn from his teachings and his life eternal lessons that he granted us. And so I want to just conclude with a l'chaim before we go to our last song, that I want to say l'chaim to everyone on the Zoom and all of your loved ones, wherever they are, as you as a representative of your family, that whatever is on your heart that you need, that you desire in life, whether it's health, whether it's nachas from your children, from your grandchildren, whether it's blessings for livelihood, for peace, for whatever it is you need in your life, we pray and we beseech that the great Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai should intercede in heaven on the merit of his yahrzeit, the day of his passing, and beseech before God in His merit and in the merit of all of us participating in His Yom Elula, the day of His wedding, as he said. And the reason he said it's a wedding is because he said life is a wedding. Just like a husband and wife get together. And by the way, right before the Zoom, I participated in Israel. I'm sorry, Brooklyn, New York. So a lot of people got married today, and we couldn't go, but we were able to participate on Zoom. But he said every life is a wedding. Why? Because God marries the body and the soul. Now, you know, they say men are from Mars, women are from Venus, or maybe vice versa. I don't remember how it goes. But the point is, men and women could be the opposite. So why do they come together? Because only through their unity could they produce children and create a family. And they reach, a man and a woman reaches their greatest potential through marriage. Through the marriage bond, they're able to unleash their true potential. The same thing is with the marriage of the body and the soul. The soul doesn't want to come into the body. The soul prefers to be in heaven with God, with unlimited access to spirituality. Comes into a world confined in a body with limitations and concealments, but it does it. It comes down and marries the body so it could create a dwelling place for God in this world, which is what Kabbalah explains as the ultimate purpose of creation. And so today is the marriage, he said, of the body and the soul. Life is a marriage of every body and the soul. When you learn to love yourself within your own marriage, the marriage to yourself, then you learn to love each other. And so the merit of Shem Rechai should shower us with his blessings and his love from God on this holy day, on this auspicious day. So l'chaim everyone, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam baruch v'gafram, l'chaim Rabbi Rice.
L'chaim.
Wherever you are, pour yourself a little l'chaim and say l'chaim in honor of Shem Rechai. And now we turn it back to Rabbi Dudi Liebovitch and Aharon Deutch. And again, you realize it's 3 a.m. And when I called Rabbi Dudi and Aharon, I said, are you sure you can do it at this hour? They said, Bit Simcha. Lag BaOmer will do anything in honor of Rab Shimon Bar Yochai and in honor of our beautiful community that they love so much and we love them so much. We feel like we have mishpacha in Israel, and it's so good to see you and that you came together and celebrating together with us. So I'd like to ask you to finish the evening with some beautiful music. L'chaim to you and to your beautiful family.
Toda rabba. Good night to everybody.
Hope to see you again in Rosh Hashanah Be'ezrat Hashem.
Amen.
בשורות טובות.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואימו אמרו אמן. עושה שלום
Signify.
יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל
שלום שלום, חג שמח.
Shalom,
חג שמח.
One more song.
Thank you very much.
One more song. What song do you want, please?
Whatever you like. Something happy.
Yosef, choose a song, Yosef.
Yosef.
שברך
A blessing for the soldiers. Beautiful.
אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, יברך חיילי צבא הגנה לישראל, הוא יברך את חיילי גבול הלבנון ליד מכתב מצרים ומן הים הגדול עד לבוא הערבה ביבשה באוויר ובים הוא יברך את חיילי הגנה לישראל, הוא יברך את חייליהם בהגנה לישראל, העומדים על משמר ארצנו יקוים בהם הכתוב, כי אדוני אלוהיכם ההולך עמכם יילחם לכם עם אויביכם להושיע אתכם
תודה רבה, פלביט סינגוג. תודה רב מוישה, רבי יוסף.
Thank you very much, Dudi and Aharon, Laila Tov, and to all of our friends watching in Palm Beach Synagogue, we wish you a Chag Sameach, like BaOmer Sameach. We love you all, and let's take the light and the warmth of this holy day and bring it into our lives and get through this pandemic and get back together in Shul very soon, God willing, and we'll be together, not just unified spiritually and emotionally, but physically as well. Laila Tov and Chag BaOmer Sameach.
Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. It was fantastic. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
We're so glad.
Bye.
Toda, toda.
A great way to celebrate.
Thank you. It was wonderful.
We also want to thank our host, Moshe Duna, for hosting us here at the Bonfire. Thank you very much, Moshe. Hashem should bless you and your family with everything good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for joining us.
Mute.
Now,
Thank you, Rabbi.
now you're muted.
Oh.
Shalom from freezing New York.
Hi, Arlene.
Hi, who's saying hi?
Sarah Dworkin.
Oh, hi, Sarah. Chag Sameach to you.
Chag Sameach.
Was lovely.
Chag Sameach, everyone. I'm going to end the meeting.
Okay,
Laila
thank
Tov.
you. Okay, Laila Tov. I'm getting out.